Hello, before we jump into today's guide, I want to quickly explain something fun that's running alongside this video. This is part of the PO Christmas code hunt. There's one code being shared across multiple press offices, and each of us has been given one secret letter to hide inside our content. Mine will show up later in this video, hidden inside a Where's Wally style image. All you need to do is keep an eye on the screen, try to spot the letter and hold onto it. Once all the PO content is live, players will be able to combine the letters they've found and unlock the full code. I'll go over the rules again at the end. Now, welcome back to the Ultimate Guide. I'm Godi from Server 73. This series breaks down Immortals and their ultimate skills so you can understand how they actually work in real battles, how they fit into marches, and where they make sense in the current meta. In this episode, we're looking at Fu Fei, a Chaos support Immortal. She isn't here to top the damage charts. Her job is to keep the rest of the march functioning in fights where control effects and sustained pressure would normally shut things down. Fu Fei is most commonly used in Chaos and high investment lineups, where protecting key damage dealers and maintaining tempo matters more than adding another source of damage. Her value depends far more on who she's supporting and how the team is built around her than on her own personal stats. If you're looking to recruit Fu Fei, you can get her fragments from Chaos Roulette, random Chaos Immortal fragments, the Peak Battle Pass and monthly seasonal events, which places her firmly in the higher investment category. Before we look at how Fu Fei fits into a team, we need to be clear on what her ultimate does, because almost all of her value comes from this one skill. Fu Fei's ultimate is Elegant Dance. When it activates, she recovers health for all allied troops. At max level, the recovery rate reaches 300%. At the same time, Elegant Dance removes all control effects from every ally and grants control immunity for 3 seconds. That means existing control is cleared and new control effects won't apply during that window. With her exclusive artifact, that immunity lasts 3 seconds longer, bringing the total to 6 seconds. Elegant Dance affects the entire march at once, not a single unit or row. That's what gives Fu Fei her value. Here is a battle replay where you can watch Elegant Dance in action to see how it clears control and stabilizes the fight. Fu Fei isn't about damage or scaling. She's about timing. If her ultimate lands at the right moment, the march keeps moving. If it doesn't, her impact drops off fast. That single skill defines her role. With that in mind, let's move on to pairings and see where Fu Fei actually makes sense. So, what kind of lineup does she fit into? Fu Fei works best when she's placed behind a backline carry. She isn't there to add damage, she's there to make sure your carry actually gets the function. Because Elegant Dance clears control and blocks it for a short window, the best partners for Fu Fei are Immortals who lose most of their value when they're stunned, silenced or interrupted mid-cast. Loki is one of the strongest partners for Fu Fei. His ultimate deals heavy damage to all enemies and can apply Confuse. Loki needs clean casts and Fu Fei gives him that space. Her control immunity keeps his ultimates from getting interrupted, and since both fit naturally into Chaos lineups, they work well together at higher investment. Apollo is another solid option, especially for players running physical damage carries. His ultimate hits all enemies, reduces healing, and gives him stacking damage reduction after each cast. Fu Fei helps him stay active through control-heavy fights and gives him the time he needs to build those stacks. Kimiko also works well with Fu Fei. Her damage comes from repeated ultimates over time, and control is one of the easiest ways to shut her down. Fu Fei clearing and blocking control helps Kimiko keep her cycle going in longer fights. Kong is the most straightforward carry Fu Fei can support. Arrow Storm applies wound for 10 seconds and delivers value as soon as it lands. Fu Fei helps make sure those casts aren't delayed or stopped, which keeps his pressure consistent against control-focused teams. It all comes back to the same thing. Fu Fei is there to protect the carry who needs to get their ultimates off on time. If your backline struggles against control, she's a very reliable support to run behind it. Next, we'll move on to skill pairings and look at what helps Fu Fei do her job properly. Fu Fei doesn't need damage skills, energy skills, or anything flashy. Her role is to stay active, avoid control, and cast elegant dance when it matters. Because of that, her best skills are straightforward support tools that keep the march stable and protect her timing. Assist is a strong option. It periodically redirects damage away from a backline ally and onto Fu Fei while reducing the damage she takes. That trait is usually worth it. If Fu Fei stays alive and the carry stays casting, the skill is doing its job. Spring of Life fits her kit cleanly. It increases healing received across the entire march, and every heal also reduces damage taken for a short window. Since Fu Fei already provides a large team-wide heal, this turns that cast into both sustain and mitigation, without adding complexity. Energy Shield adds another layer of protection. It applies short duration shields to multiple allies on a regular timer, which helps absorb burst damage and smooth out pressure before Fu Fei needs to use her ultimate. At higher investment, Fountain of Life is a strong consideration. The opening immunity to silence protects Fu Fei early, and the periodic team healing supports long engagements. It isn't about efficiency or damage. It's about keeping the march functional from the start of the fight. One skill that's especially important on Fu Fei is Fighting Master. If she gets controlled, she can't clear control for anyone else. Fighting Master gives her control immunity and damage reduction, which makes her far more reliable against control-heavy teams. The takeaway is simple. Fu Fei doesn't need help doing more. She needs help not being interrupted. Skills that reduce damage, redirect pressure, and keep her free from control are what let her do her job properly. Next, we move on to specializations and look at which option makes the most sense for Fu Fei. Fu Fei's specialization choice is about who you want to help, not about boosting her own numbers. Since her job is to support a backline carry, the option that directly feeds energy and damage into that carry makes the most sense. Battle Excitation is the best fit. After the battle starts, it restores energy to another back row ally and increases the damage they deal. Both effects line up perfectly with what Fu Fei is already doing. More energy means faster ultimates, and the damage boost makes those casts hit harder. This specialization directly strengthens the Immortals she's supporting, which is where Fu Fei's value comes from in the first place. Holy Prayer is a defensive alternative. It increases Fu Fei's healing effect and reduces the damage she takes after entering battle. It's a safe option if survivability is the main concern, and it does make her harder to remove. That said, it only improves Fu Fei herself and doesn't add anything to the carry she's backing up. Light of the Soul adds periodic team healing. It can help in longer fights, but the timing is slow and unreliable compared to Fu Fei's ultimate. It doesn't affect energy, damage, or control, so it doesn't really change how the march plays. If the goal is to get more value out of your backline carry, Battle Excitation is the clear choice. It feeds energy, boosts damage, and fits naturally into Fu Fei's role as an enabler rather than a front-facing support. So where does Fu Fei sit in the current game? Fu Fei is still highly relevant, and that mostly comes down to control. Loki is everywhere right now, and Confuse shows up in a lot of fights. Fu Fei's ability to clear control and block it entirely makes her one of the most reliable answers to that. If you're running a carry that needs to cast on time, her control immunity window isn't a luxury. In a lot of matchups, it's required. Before Fountain of Life was introduced, Fu Fei also had one of the strongest healing ultimates in the game. Even now, Elegant Dance remains a very high-value team-wide heal, especially because it isn't tied to positioning or target priority. It lands on everyone, every time. She does have counters, but they're specific rather than universal. Serious Wound cuts directly into her healing, and Ares' ultimate effect can reduce the impact of her casts if the timing lines up badly. Layered or repeated control can also push past her immunity window if it's spaced out correctly. Because she's been the primary chaos support for such a long time, most established chaos players already have her build. She's not a niche pick or a short-term solution. She's a long-standing piece of chaos team structures, and she continues to hold that position because her role hasn't been power crept out of the game. As long as control-heavy carries like Loki remain relevant, Fu Fei will stay relevant right alongside them. And that wraps up Fu Fei. Her role isn't about dealing damage, it's about keeping Mouches working. Control immunity, team-wide healing, and protecting critical costs are what keep her relevant, and that hasn't really changed. If your backline struggles against control, Fu Fei is still one of the most dependable supports you can run behind it. She won't stop everything, but she gives your carry the room they need to function. Now before we finish up, let's come back to the PO Christmas code hunt. Somewhere in this image I've hidden my secret letter. Take your time, scan it carefully and see if you can sort it. I won't be giving hints and I won't be confirming answers in the comments. Once you've found it, keep it safe. When all the press officer content goes live, those letters will come together to form the full community code. Good luck, enjoy the hunt, and I'll see you in the next Ultimate Guide.